A new year always brings renewed commitment from all of us to make healthy changes in our lives. Things like exercising more and saving money come to mind immediately, but there are some important legal matters you should probably have on your list. So says our legal analyst, Jeff Hosford. He joins us in the studio tonight to talk about that. Great to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you for having me.
So you and I were talking earlier, and what comes to mind for you, first of all, is getting a will.
Yes, obviously, every year brings a bunch of new adventures, a bunch of new things. And one thing that you need to think about is what's happened over the past year. For example, if you had a child, if you had a grandchild, if you got divorced, if one of your children got married, you take those things into account and you look at your will, and all of a sudden what you have there doesn't make sense anymore. For example, if you have two children and you leave that third child off in your will, then the problem is that child won't receive anything when you pass away, and no one knows when the good Lord is going to call you home.
I guess sort of the problem with talking about wills is no one wants to think about their own death, but the advantage to having these things in place is that it saves your loved ones that extra heartache when something happens.
There's nothing like the heartache of someone coming in the office and saying my dad or my husband didn't have a will, and now I got to figure out how this is going to work because we have 5 children, we all inherit equally, and now I don't know what's going to happen to the home I'm living in because we don't get along anymore. Those kind of things come up every day. Will takes care of those situations and ensures that what you want to happen occurs. The law just divides things up among your children and your spouse. That's typically not what someone married wants to do. Another thing that occurs from time to time is someone that gets divorced. They pass away, and all of a sudden their ex-wife or ex-husband is on their will, but they don't really want them to inherit any of that anymore. And guess what? The court doesn't have a choice but to follow it.
All right, a lot of things could go wrong there, but you can make it all right. Jeff, we appreciate your perspective and your expertise. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.